It's a new year, which means I have kind of a new focus and drive for this year. And one of the things that I really want to do more of is brand focused videos. So, really, to kick that off this year, I am going to do one from one of my favorite brands, Ilia Beauty. So, without further ado, we're just going to jump right in today. So, I'm using the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. This is a really, really light coverage. You can kind of build it up to medium, and this is in the shade Tavarua. And so, I'm just going to dot this all over my face. If you dot on any type of foundation and have it more spread out, you're going to get a more even coverage and use less product. And this is the Tarte Kabuki. And I like this brush because it's really, really fast, and because this is such a light coverage product anyway, you don't have to spend a ton of time really blending it. This is really just a type of product to even out your skin tone, make it look a little less red and more uniform, but you're still gonna have kind of that skin-like bright glow. Super duper fast. So I don't have the True Skin concealer, so I'm just gonna use my Maybelline Age Rewind, dot a little bit of this under the eyes, and we'll buff this out too, a little bit on the brow because I've got some little breakouts, a little around the nose, and I got that a little too much on my eyebrow. Whoops. That's okay. But really just kind of get rid of any issues. I always like to go around my nose and cancel out some of the redness, and also on the outer corner of the eye. And I tend to kind of just feather that down the cheek, especially when you have this little hollow right here. Sometimes I'll go in and actually I'll build up a little bit more right where that dip is to brighten it, so it really kind of pops it out. And my nose is also uneven, so you'll notice like sometimes I'll take more concealer on the side that has that little dip, and it helps to kind of create more of a visual balance on each side. I also try to get in that corner to brighten it up because I do get kind of blue in there too. That's the great thing about concealer is you can really brighten up areas that are sunken in. I tend to use a concealer that's very, very close to my skin, but just a tiny bit lighter so you get that brightening effect. And just like the other side, I'm going to go in just a little bit right here, right where that seam is, where you can see like the cheek has a little more kind of collagen and fullness to it, and then you have that dip under your eye, just right in that hollow where they connect to help it disappear. And again, around the nose for that redness. And I'm just going to take what's left on my brush and do a very quick swipe over my eyelids. This will help to prime just a tiny bit for eyeshadow, and it cancels out some of the purpleness in the veins above my eyes. Okay, moving on. This was a holiday palette that they did. So I'm going to take the shade At Last. It's the cooler of the two kind of blush tones in there. It's more of like a dusty mauve, rosy mauve kind of color. And I'm just going to put that between my fingers. And I'll probably have to build this up a little bit because my hands are cold, so I'm not picking up as much product as I would like. The other thing I will say, when you're applying a cream blush, you'll notice when you're dabbing and patting, your natural rosy flush is going to kind of start to show a little bit more. So a lot of times I will put on just a tiny bit more than I think I need, because once your natural flush goes away, you'll be left with the right amount of product. I love cream blushes because they're so fast and easy, and these blend out really, really nicely. And I don't have an Ilia lipstick that I'm going to use today, so I'm just going to take a little bit more of At Last, and then I'm going to actually mix it with a little bit of Ladybird, which is the more like terracotta shade next to it. And I'm just going to swipe that over my lips. I do have a little bit of like a lip balm on, but that's just clear. But this way everything looks a little more cohesive, having it all put together. Okay, now I'm going to use this Nova liquid highlighter. This is a little sample that I got from Sephora. And I'm just going to use a little teeny tiny dab of this because it's really pretty bright. And like, you're going to glow pretty hardcore if you use a ton of this. So I'm just going to tap that in. I've really, really enjoyed this formula. It's pretty blingy. I watched someone else review this. I always try to avoid watching a ton of other people's reviews so I can create my own opinion. But somebody had said that they were like, I don't really feel like this does anything. And I'm like, what? It's pretty glowy. So let's dot over here too. I have to switch hands because I'm not left-handed and I struggle trying to show you that way. And then just whatever is left on your fingers, you can see like there's this little bit of hint of a glow, and I just pop that right on the nose. That's where that kind of dip is for me, and then a little bit just above the lip to bring that forward. And there you go. This is like, I mean, you can wear this by itself. It just really evens you out, freshens you up, and it doesn't really look like a ton of makeup, which is really nice. A lot of times I would powder a look like this. I'm not going to do that today because I want you to see the actual glow of this foundation. It's really, really beautiful. But for someone like me, I have an oilier skin type, and so I tend to have to set things or they'll slide around. So next I'm going in with the Cool Nude palette from Ilia. They gifted this to me and I love this palette so much. So I'm kind of thinking we'll start with this lighter color here. And I'm just going to sweep this kind of all over. Very, very light coat. Same thing on the other eye. And I'm about to, do a no-no here, but I'm going to use this same brush. I tend to just like flick the excess off of on my hand. And I'll go in with this kind of a taupey, slight shimmer. Tap off over that excess. And just kind of pop this all over, more so on the outsides, and then again kind of flick off that excess, and you can blend very easily with this. So I'm just going to gently drag it into the corner and then feather out. These are the Scott Barnes brushes, by the way, and I really, really love these. Same thing on this eye. Slightly tap that inner edge and then blend, blend, blend. You always have to kind of take a step back and really look at it that way. And next, I want to add a little tiny bit of this like plummy color here. It's kind of a shimmery plum shade, and I'm using the Scott Barnes Eye Winger brush. And I'm just going to go in on this outer edge, really kind of stippling that in, drag it down on the lashes just a little bit. You can see it kind of adds that outer definition, and I'm just going to barely bring that in for a V shape. Not a ton. We're going to blend that a lot in a second. Same thing over here. Really kind of follow the shape of the eye. damping and pressing that in. It's a little heavier than I wanted on that corner. That's okay though. We'll even it out. Okay, so we're just gonna go pull that in a little bit. And the shape is slightly different. So I'm gonna pull this one out just a tiny bit. And then we're gonna round it a little more. This will make it easier to blend. Okay, I can work with that. Now we're going to take that original Scott Barnes blending brush and blend like our life depends on it. And you'll notice I kind of go in rounded strokes. Really diffuse that color. Flick that out and up. These shadows are really, really beautiful. They blend really, really easily. But look how much softer that looks from one eye to the next. So because I kind of rounded this one off a little bit more, I'm going to drag that up a little bit to create a slightly more kind of pointed effect to match the other side a little better. And now we're going to blend like crazy. Make it really, really soft. That is a nice thing about this eyeshadow palette. It does blend out so nicely. I feel good with that. Now I had like a tiny bit of shadow fallout, so we're just gonna like kind of flick up with a cleaner brush. There we go. And I'm kind of feeling like I need a little something on the bottom. I don't want to do too much today because I don't want to make it like really heavy and kind of drag my face down. So I'm going to take that eye winger brush again, clean it off on my hand. And then I'm going to take this, like I said, the kind of the mulberry shade. And this looks warmer than it actually is. So I'm just going to kind of lightly dust that on. I really love this palette because I feel like there have been so many warmer toned palettes and I'm just kind of bored with that. And also the other thing I will say, just from my own experience, is with how warm my hair is, sometimes when palettes are too warm, it just makes me look like orange all over, and I don't like that. So okay, there's our eye look. It's very, very simple, very easy. You can tell those blend out really, really fast. I'm going to use some Glossier Boy Brow and just feather this through my brows. And you'll notice, and I talk about this in other videos too, I tend to go back and forth between my brows to kind of let it dry and set, and then I'll go in with another coat because it really helps to fill in those gaps for me. And it just makes them look a little bit thicker, and especially on the tails of my brows, they tend to be thinner. So and then we'll pull that top down so it's not sticking up. Very quick, easy brow. I love boy brow. Now for one of my favorites from Ilia, the Limitless Lash Mascara. I have gone through so many tubes of this. So let's curl these lashes. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because the nice thing about this mascara is it has a plastic bristle brush, and this really helps to lift your lashes. And also you'll notice I'm not putting on an eyeliner. I don't have the Ilia eyeliner, but also I find with my eye shape that if I put too much eyeliner on, it really kind of closes my eye off. I have relatively deep set eyes, which you can see my lid space, but it's pretty small, and so when I put eyeliner on there, my eyelid kind of disappears. And I like to keep a little bit of that light in there. I just think it makes my eyes look more open and a little bit bigger. So when I do use eyeliner, you'll notice I tend to use a liquid liner and I concentrate it on the outer half of my my eye to really open them up more. So with this wand, it has like one row of like longer bristles and then the shorter ones all around. And I usually use these shorter ones first. And I tend to get pretty heavy-handed with this mascara. I'm not going to today. We'll do just like a normal coat. I don't know how to do normal coats of mascara anymore. I go crazy with my mascara. But I'm going to try to go more normal for you guys. I'm trying to go for like a kind of cash daytime look here. Oops, got one little eyelash on there. That's okay. Pull that guy off. Okay, next eye. I'll do 2 coats of mascara so you can kind of get a feel for what that looks like. But yeah, I love how much this really lengthens my lashes and it really lifts them. Like, I just feel like my eyes look so much more open and awake with this. We'll go in with that second coat. I'll do a little on my bottom lashes too, just because I really like how it looks having mascara on my bottom lashes. I just think it looks really put together and complete. I think what I love so much too about this wand is like it's like having a built-in eyelash comb. Like you really can kind of get out any clumpiness with just the brush itself. I actually don't really use the one comb side a whole lot. I almost feel like sometimes it makes my lashes look a little too spidery. But it's nice if you want to try it out, it's there for you. A little bit on the bottom there. And just kind of looking between the 2 eyes for that balance. That's really my kind of number one thing is just find balance in your makeup, whether it's on the sides of your face for symmetry, between the contrast of your eyes and your lips. You're really just looking for balance. Okay, so there's that. I'm actually going to powder my face just a tiny bit. I didn't right away because I wanted you to see this True Skin Serum Foundation does have a little bit of a glow to it, so if you like that, it's a fantastic foundation for it. If you like a really easy, blendable, more sheer coverage, you can definitely powder this down and it looks really, really nice. So I'm going to top it off with a little bit of powder and just a tiny bit of a clear gloss just to make my lips a little less dry looking. And we're done. Okay, so this is today's final Ilia focused makeup look. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you've been on the fence about some of their products, I hope that this helps you make a decision. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.